God is just moving right now. Lord Jesus, just welcome to your be with me, Jesus. I feel like God is kind of getting tired of the church kind of not doing anything with the glory that God's given them. God is tired of the church just kind of playing church, basically. He's tired of... This is what I pictured. People going to church acting like it's like a sports team, you know, like, oh, this is my church, this is the one I go to. They go harder for their church than they do for Jesus. They support their church more than they do Jesus. And it's like, I get like y'all love your church, I love my church, but I'm not going to put my church on a pedestal above Jesus. I wouldn't be there without Jesus. So Jesus is the reason why I'm in church in the first place. And I see people like sitting down, like reserving their spots at their church. At my church, people reserving their spots at the church, but then they're like clapping as if it's like a sports game at the end, or like at worship. I'm like, guys, this is not a sports game. This is a King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and His glory is trying to shine through, and y'all are just reserving seats, doing the same thing every week, reserving your spot at the table and then leaving, getting what you want and then leaving. And it keeps popping up in my head where it's like the workers in the field, there's many works that needs to be done, but the workers are few. And God tells us Jesus says, pray for those workers and pray for more to come, because the church always needs a body. The church always needs people working in it. And many people right now, they are serving in places they do not need to be serving in. You guys do not need to be serving in 5 ministries, because it's just burning you out at the end of the day. It's the titling of serving in so many ministries. It's just doesn't bring you closer to God. It serves people more than it serves God sometimes. And obviously, if God calls you to so many ministries, then go for it. But I don't think I've met someone who's joined so many ministries without being tired all the time, and without saying, oh, I don't spend enough time with God. Yeah, because you're serving ministry more than you're spending with time with God. As a leader in ministry, if you're serving in my ministry and you're not spending your time with God, then I need you to go spend time with God, because the ministry ain't gonna work in its right position if you're not spending time with God. The ministry ain't gonna work in its glory and serve its whole purpose if you're not spending time with God on your own. And people just join ministry as if it's like a job or it's volunteer work. You're not getting paid for it, so you can't expect much out of it but God's glory to move through you. You're supposed to be the light in your ministry, and people just join because obviously some ministries need people joining it. But don't join because you're like, oh, I have to join this ministry now because, oh, pastor said like I have to. No. Pastor didn't say anything. He said if you want, but feel called. When God calls you to join ministry, He'll put it on your heart for months, for weeks. It's going to be a talent and a thing for you. Don't just do it because the church needs it. Do it because God told you. Be aligned with God, not with the church is also a place you need to be aligned with, but the Spirit of God needs to be in that church for everyone to be aligned, everyone to unite. And this is how I see it. If you're serving in a ministry you know you're not meant to be in, you're blocking someone else's blessing from serving in that ministry. And that's it. And God is saying right now, pray for those in ministry who are working hard, because they are working hard and trying to spend their time with God. And God sees His children tired. God sees that they are working hard, and most people in ministry are not getting paid. And those who have the job of doing ministry, they are getting burnt out too. The whole church is getting burnt out because people, like I said in the beginning, are just going into church, getting what they want, and then leaving. Every week, it's like a reserved spot for them. And God's getting tired of it because His children are getting tired. His leaders are getting tired. How are the leaders supposed to be pouring out into you if you're not serving in the spot you're supposed to be in? If you don't have the heart of alignment, your heart isn't in alignment with what God is doing. Your leaders are getting burnt out. Your leaders are getting tired. That goes for pastors, ministers. They're getting tired. Everyone is busy right now. All your leaders are busy right now. Every single time I talk to someone, they're like, oh, we're too busy to do this. We are busy serving ministry rather than serving God. And I think it's time to turn around, serve God first, and then serve your ministry. And everyone's like, that's not the scheme of the enemy. Yes, it is. The enemy wants to get you tired so you're not spending time with God and growing in your faith. So get up, pack your bags, whatever God tells you to leave, leave. Don't be like, but God, when God called his disciples, the 44 or whatever it was, many of them made excuses. They were like, God, but I have to go do this. God, I have to go do that. And God's like, let the dead bury their own dead. Like, let the dead bury the dead. Like, I've called you, come with me. And many of you guys are like, oh, I'm in this ministry and I love these people and I can't go because I have to be with them, Lord. And God's like, what? Like, you're putting me second right now? You're idolizing the ministry over me? And God's like, I'm trying to call you to higher heights, but you're not going. You're still holding on. It's time to let go of the ministry God's told you to let go of. It's time to let go of the people God's told you to let go of. We understand that if people leave your life, it's never with the hard feelings. It's never with, like I want to do this because I want to hurt them. No, sometimes God calls people out of your life for his purposes so that you can grow, so that they can grow. People can hinder your growth with God, just as Satan hinders your growth with God. There's spirits behind people always. There's, not always, but you never know. Familiar spirits have been roaming around. That's something God's been speaking to me too. And I think it's just time for his prophetic people to start speaking up about these things and start being real with what's going on inside the church, because God is coming for the churches first. I don't know if y'all know about that, but God's judging the churches first and not really the people in the world first. So I hope you guys are getting it right, and I hope that just like I felt convicted of this this week, where I was starting to serve people above God. Sometimes God calls us to do that, but only for a certain amount of time, because God is a jealous God. He needs, and I'm not saying like, oh, like God is demanding us to spend time with him. No, it's our choice at the end of the day. It's our choice and our decision. So God bless you guys, and I hope this moves you guys in the spirit, and have a great, blessed day. Take that with a grain of salt. Go home, pray about it, whatever you gotta do. Parking this way today. Okay, bye.